Hi guys, come with me on a mini self-care day. I've been feeling a little unwell. I've been feeling a little unwell for a while. And today I'm like, you know what, before I resume life, because I'm feeling better now, let me pamper myself small. And I'm feeling a bit weird because I don't usually do this. But more and more I'm learning that self-care is important. So I'm like, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. It's mostly just finding something for my hair. I thought I was going to go to a proper hair salon, but now I'm just like, find a wig, find a wig and move on. And then maybe doing my nails. I've never done my nails since I came to this country. And even back in Cameroon, I usually do my nails just like on special occasions because you're a medical student. What will you do? Oh, like, but I'm like, just do it. And I always felt like a bit insecure to share days in my life because yes, I feel like my life is boring and I feel like I don't do so many special things worth sharing. I feel like my life is not very aesthetic. Yeah, I think that's the way to put it. I've always felt like my life is not very aesthetic. So sharing days in the life has always felt weird for me, but I'm just learning to show up as I am, as authentically as I can, and yeah, maybe there are other non-aesthetic people out there who relate. Yesterday was my wash day. I'm still new to all these hair stuff, so after washing and conditioning, I try to straighten it by doing these twists. My twist as terrible. Okay, my twist they still don't make sense, and I'm having these edges that are just my edges are regrettable. But I'm working on it. I hope to take you guys on that journey. Maybe in some years or even months to come, I'll look back. I'll bring back this video and I'll be like, "Hey, remember when my hair was like this? Now my hair is giving. Now my hair is popping." So I don't want to feel afraid to take you guys on the journey, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this vlog as I take you guys along. Just a few things that I'm learning about insecurities, perfectionism, and how they affect how you show up to the world. And that's just been on my heart, and I'm like, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it. No matter how imperfect this video is, I'm going to share it because that's another thing that I've been struggling. Let's be going because yeah, it's so noisy out here. I really hope that my voice is being picked up. That's another thing that I've been struggling with. The idea that I have to show up perfectly, and that's why even on in seasons when I sense that I'll not be able to show up as perfectly as I want to show up, I just freeze and I shut down and I don't show up because a normal person, a person who is not breeding by insecurity or whose insecurity doesn't breed perfectionism, on days when you can't show up, you show up the way you can. You show up to the best of your ability because you recognize that that's what's important. Showing up as best as you can, giving your 100%, even if your 100% is not perfect, right? You're doing everything as though you're doing it unto God. God is not God is just not await perfection. He just awaits our 100%, our total devotion. And that's why even on YouTube, I'm not being consistent because since I sense that I cannot show up and do everything as perfectly as I want to, the edit, the intros, the creativity that I want to put into my videos or my vlogs or the research, I just don't show up. I'm under the sun right now, so I can't even see my face. I don't even know whether my face is still in the frame because as I'm under the sun, my screen is blurred. Um, so even in this period when I wasn't feeling so well, even my meditation was affected, right? Because I'm like, if I can't show up to my meditation, and do it the 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes that I would want to do, then what's the point? And I'll just be excusing myself with the fact that, well, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well. Whereas, even though I'm not feeling well, even if I had to show up, even if showing up means just I'm about to enter a store and get some snacks, even if showing up means just a 1 minute prayer, it's better than not showing up. That's my best at that moment, and God will honor it instead of saying I can't. Even if without the energy to make the prayer audibly, just making it like um, a heartfelt prayer in your heart, in your mind, because you're devoted to God 100%. And if your usual devotion is being obstructed, you're still able to show up with your 100%, right? That's just what makes it beautiful, because you don't always have to be at the top of your game. All you need to do is give your 100%. So let me get this stuff. I intended to take the bus, but now I'm wondering if I should just walk. I don't know. Anyway, there's a bus stop, another bus stop in front. I'll see. But yeah, so I was wondering where this is coming. I wasn't really wondering where it was coming from. I always knew that I had an issue with perfectionism. I knew it. Well, at first I didn't know, right? Till I started gaining some self awareness. As till God started teaching me, because I started with God. God started teaching me about these whole issues of insecurity, self esteem, and then I delved into the world of what perfectionism means, the insecure person, and then from there I now started developing my own desire to do more and more research. But even then, I never really cracked the code. I always just knew that I struggle with it, no matter the amount of knowledge that I gained. It was just like this perfectionism thing was just I would overcome it little by little. Yes, I need to acknowledge that at least I've been overcoming it little by little. It's not as bad as the way it used to be. Okay, so when I first gave my life to Christ, I remember when I first gave my life to Christ. Oh boy, I whenever I sinned, I thought that God had rejected me. I thought that voila, that's it. You're going to hell. I was so determined to do Christianity perfectly. I was so excited first, and then it dawned on me the heaviness of what I had gotten myself into. So on day one, I would monitor my actions, monitor my thoughts, and the moment I did something that I knew was wrong, this is just a new convert. Oh, I've just barely given my life to Christ, and I'm expecting perfection of myself. I will shut down. I will get extremely sad, almost depressed, because I felt like, aha, you have spoiled it. Start back. You have to start all over. You have to give your life to God afresh and ask Him to take you again. This is not my bus stop, but I want to just stop here and finish this story before I continue. Oh my god, it's so weird to be vlogging, even though there's nobody on the road. But I still feel like I need to just stand here so that it doesn't look so strange that I'm walking and talking. I'm trying to also get. So where was I? My excitement soon turned to a burden, because every time I made a mistake, I would condemn myself heavily. It's not even little condemnation, oh, heavy condemnation that you've messed it. You see, God now has rejected you. They have to start your Christianity from zero, and this time you're going to do it perfectly. And imagine I was doing that over and over and over and over and over. Every time I would make a mistake, I would say I have to start all over. That is just to tell you how ingrained perfectionism was in me. And even in my sin, that was the only one. Even in my one day, I was having a discussion with them when I eventually overcome this stage of feeling like I have to do everything in my Christianity perfectly. I was having this conversation with them, and I was telling them that that's not how it's supposed to be. And they were like looking at me like, what do you mean that's not how it's supposed to be? That's how it's supposed to be. It's not that you just make a mistake. And so I was, at that moment, I was so surprised the level of understanding that we had. So I eventually passed that stage. I realized that there's no condemnation for anyone who is in Christ Jesus. I passed that level of perfectionism, and then I went to the level where, in my meditation or in my quiet times, if I couldn't, as I explained earlier, if I couldn't show up 100% and do 1 hour, 2 hours, even till I got married, and my husband was one had to tell me that no, na so that no, na so this thing there, oh. No, na so this thing there, oh. Because at one point I was explaining to him that I just feel I struggle, that in seasons when I can't show up and do 1 hour straight and do my 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours, I just feel like I can't show up. I can't bring myself to show up for 5 minutes, for just 5 minutes, like, and then I'd rather not show up, and that's so wrong. So where does perfectionism come from? For many people, or at least in my case, I think it was just more of a conditioning as I was growing up. Um, Not intentionally, by the environment where I grew up. Just a belief of performance. Growing up believing that you had to perform in order to be accepted. And again, this is not something that was done consciously. It was just a conditioning of the environment. It was a system, and not like an individual perpetrating the idea. It was more of a system idea, if that makes sense. Just believing that if I don't perform a particular way, through subtle signs, maybe if you don't perform, you don't bring a particular grade home, the reaction is more like, so you have this one, you have started sleeping, you have started, you're not studying again. Or if you want to voice an opinion that is not in line with the system, you're shut down. Or if you want to, just, if you don't conform, you begin to feel like the love they are going to receive is on the line, right? So there's this performance mentality that you just grow up in, feeling like I have to perform, I have to perform, I have to perform. And this also affected me in my relationships later on. Let me go get a bus, guys. I'll talk about the how it affected me in relationships later on. I really hope that you're even getting my voice, because the wind is mad. There's so much wind. I hope that my voice is not just being muffled by the wind. Okay, guys, let me get a bus. I stood here, and one of the buses passed. I don't know how much longer I'll have to wait. I just want to tell the whole story while standing on the same spot. You get what I mean? At least let me be showing you different places. All right. I think my boss is coming. If it's not my boss, I'll get on. Wherever he leaves me, I think it's coming. So let me continue. I just gotten off the bus, so I'm walking down to the place. There's no bus from my place directly to where I'm going, so I have to take this bus and then walk a little. I was thinking that I'll just wait till I'm in another, like, doing another activity if I continue this gist, but things are just coming to my mind. So as I was saying, it affects. I don't know whether to say it affects or it affected, because it's to varying degrees. Let me say it affects my relationships. Um, Not all, many, because of a performance culture. And what the performance culture does is that, it makes intimacy difficult, because intimacy is built on the little things. So it was my quiet time the other day, during one of these days when I was able to just show up as best as I could. 100%, not the 1 hour, 2 hour, but I had some energy and I was like, you know what, I'm going to have my quiet time and do the little that I can. Like the Holy Spirit just brought it to my mind, just came up in my head that Daniela, you don't, because I was pondering on a particular difficulty that I'm facing. And I just realized that I had not spoken to God about it. I had really not spoken to God about it. And I was like, what on earth? Because of a performance culture. Because I feel like I can only. Sorry, guys. I realized that my microphone stopped recording, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. I'll try to remember and repeat everything that I said. So I was saying that because I felt like I could only come to God with like the big stuff, right? I could only come to God for Him to give me these deep revelations, these deep instructions and visions for the future. I'm very visionary. God speaks to me a lot through ideas, a lot through promises, a lot through images of things that He wants me to pursue, projects. So I just realized in that moment that Daniela, you're facing this thing. You've not even talked to God about it. You're not even, and I just realized how ridiculous I have been. That's what performance culture does to you. You feel like you can only show up for the big, impressive things, whereas that's not where deep intimacy is built. Intimacy is not built in the big revelations. Intimacy is built in the everyday conversations, the everyday vulnerability, the everyday I show you my weakness, I tell you what I'm going through. Those everyday conversations and just keeping you in the loop with what is happening, not just once in a while and then we'll do this big thing. To really build intimacy and true connection is it's every day, it's little by little. Another thing that this performance culture makes is that you find it difficult to ask for help, right? Relationships that thrive is where I'm able to be vulnerable, I'm able to admit things that I don't know, I'm comfortable enough to reveal my weaknesses to you and ask for your help. The other person feels needed. But I found a lot that in my relationships, as I earlier mentioned, and especially in many vital relationships, as I earlier mentioned, I only approach these people with big news, big things, or my accomplishments, or things that I've performed. And then when I need their help, at first I don't even have the self-awareness to realize that I could ask for help from people. And many of these relationships will complain to me that you feel I'm here for you. Why don't you ask? Why don't you connect? And I never really understood it because you cannot give what you don't have. I just didn't have that level of self-awareness. I'm like, which one is I should? I'm like, because even growing up, I don't remember a time when I really would ask people for help. You know how you grow up and as a child, as an adolescent, you have these issues that you come, you need help, you confide in somebody that this is what I'm going through. I just handled my issues by myself. Growing up, I'm trying to be careful with my word. I don't want to give the impression of blame on somebody, but that was the culture and the system. Not feeling safe enough to come and confide some kind of vulnerable things. Just had to be the good child, compliance, perfect, right? So even I did not even have the self-awareness growing up. I didn't know that it was a thing. I found it strange. A couple of times where people who lived with us, they did that. Like, they'll come and they'll be shitting, they'll be talking. I just don't know how to do that. And I found it strange. So now growing up and having to intentionally work on many of my relationships and having to, be vulnerable to that extent of depending on people, it just felt strange because of performance culture. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it here. I've not been able to share like even 1/4 of what I did on this day. I'll have to push it on to the next vlog. If you want to witness me losing my shopping, threading my threading my eyebrows, doing my nails. I did a lot of stuff. Watch out for the next vlog. And please, encourage me. Keep me accountable in the comment section. Do you like this kind of vlog, or do you like the more polished vlog? Are there any things that you want me to talk about? Encourage me, like, show up, keep showing up. Even if it's not perfect, just come, just release a picture. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't take it for granted. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.